Not really what's important to us. The things that are important to you are far more important than us trying to pontificate on any particular area. And I know there's been a lot that has gone on in the last probably 2 or 3 days on introductions of new models of AI. Does anybody want to make any comments? Ken, I know you try to stay on top of a lot of that. Anybody want to make comments on some of the new things that have come out in the last week?
ChatGPT released its 4.1, which is a improved version of the 4.0, and it doesn't have the same reasoning model as 4.5 right now. Gemini has come out with another iteration of their 2.0 model, and I believe I'm not even positive if there's been some other motion. I know Meta has put out some updates to Llama, and I know that U.com has continuously improved their Ari product and have integrated 4.0 and 4.1. And we're starting to see, the rage on Instagram is everybody's turning themselves into action figures and, blister pack images because the multimodal capability of ChatGPT is just accelerated quite a bit.
Exactly. Okay. Anybody else? Mike Vigno, you want to make any comments on this?
It's an exciting time to be alive. Um, the, uh, the really hard part, Lee, and I think where people could use some help is how do you stay on top of things? So you and Ken and a couple other folks on this call, myself a little bit included, we seem to have a finger on the pulse. I'm not sure if everybody else does. Do you have any advice for how people keep track of what's going on out there and which things make sense and which things are hype?
I have three people that I pay attention to.
ChatGPT and some of the others that are out there, they tend to look at up to 30 to 40 sources when they go out to get information. U.com Ari product, when it does a deep research report, goes out to 300 or 400. So you get back a much wider net when you're casting. And so, depending on your prompt, you can get back some really interesting things. The other thing I really like about U.com is that in addition to doing the report and giving you the information, it also formats it and puts it into a very nice PDF document for you when you want to download it. So it really is well formatted and the behavior has been pretty good. I haven't found too many other products like it.
Okay. Very good. Thanks. Steve Adams, how are you, buddy? There you go.
Matter of fact, I've just been spending the entire morning. One of the things we're researching is AI adoption for everyone else. AI adoption not for people that are on this call, but think of the people in your organization that do HR and whatever other knowledge worker roles. And I've been experimenting, and thank you for the introduction to U.com. It was not one that I've been actively utilizing because I live in the world of Microsoft and Copilot. I tried to make Copilot do as much as humanly possible, and we can do some cool stuff playing around with asking it which models to use and such. But I was just looking at the research work I was doing this morning, and it was and I'm going to run it through you, so thank you. I guess I got to sign up for an account and everything, but what was interesting is I had set up the persona for the search like we do in Copilot as a PhD level researcher focusing on the impacts of AI adoption on knowledge workers. And when I just looked, my last list, I'm up to like my 35th or 36th site that it's using as a reference for the work. But what was really interesting is all of the 35 sites were dramatically different sites than if I were just logged into ChatGPT and said, "Hey, help me come up with this." It was referencing McKinsey, some work from St. Louis U.
The manual, slow, gut-based things that we had to go through. I want real-time insights, and I want to be able to detect when my competitors are doing something. And then the next point being prompting is the power that you have to be able to go and look at some of these competitive situations and do comparisons. I did one recently, like a half an hour ago. I have a call with the CEO tomorrow to talk about his company, and I met him yesterday, and he said, I need you to come in and help me bring AI into our company. And it's like, okay. And so I thought, before I go in there, I need to understand him. I need to understand his competitors. I need to understand what his competitive advantage is. I need to understand how all of his competitors are using AI. And then I need to show how we can take that back into his customer base and give them a competitive advantage in their marketplace. So it was just going through the process of digging in, and being able to answer those kinds of questions, which I just think is just absolutely fascinating to be able to do that with the kind of speed that you were able to do. We were working with a large service provider, MSP, and they were going after the Tesla Gigafactory in Mexico. And to give you an idea of the amount of time and speed that we were able to achieve in that, going after the Tesla Gigafactory as a Microsoft or as a managed service provider where they sell hardware, software, they needed to know who to talk to. And so we were able to find out not only who do they talk to in Mexico, but who do they talk to in Austin. And we got the personality profiles of the individuals that we were talking to. So you're talking about the personas. We were able to go back and get the personalities of the individuals that we were dealing with. That we then profile the personality of the sales people and the sales managers who would be calling on this gigafactory. And we were able to profile that. We were able to see what competitors were, from an MSP standpoint, were going to be calling on this factory. And then we were able to go through and figure out how to counter the competitors at pretty much every location that we possibly could. So part of going in on the front end sales